So why do we love one but feast on the other?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question, and it's gonna tie into this. It's gonna tie back into
Okay,
this.
cool.
So, are you like pro-choice, pro-life? How's
So I'm going to give you my spiel, and then if you really want my answer still, I'll give it to you. But in my opinion,
okay?
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter either way. If you are pro-life and you're not vegan, like, why are you pro-life? Is it the sentience of the what you call fetus?
Yeah.
There's an individual that's having an experience, and you're concerned about their experience. Then I'm just here to tell you, animals are sentient. They're experiencing the world and making preferences on it, more so than even that fetus. They're pretty intelligent. So I feel that you're being hypocritical if you're pro-life and not vegan. Now, if you're pro-choice and you're not vegan, you're still a hypocrite, because usually pro-choice are about autonomy, having bodily autonomy and choice over my own body, right? I don't want you to tell me what to do with my own body. And if you're then subjecting others to have their autonomy violated for you, you're being a hypocrite. Do you still want to know how I feel, or did you figure it out?
I mean, if you could give me your answer, you know what I mean. Like, if I'm guessing you're pro-choice and vegan.
I personally am a pro-choice vegan. Yes, I think it is up to a mother and her doctor, or the person who's pregnant and their doctor.
Okay, so, and I guess like in that, I'm trying to say this as respectful as I can, and I guess in that sense, then we're both hypocrites, because if I'm saying, you're right, if I'm saying, no, I care about the life of a fetus, and then I choose to eat
Mm-hmm.
meat, I guess I could be considered a hypocrite in that way. But in the same way,
Right.
you could be considered a hypocrite about, you know, fetuses are still living
Well,
things.
see,
In
like
Latin, the word
the thing is,
fetus.
are you coming here to tell me how I should feel about abortion, or are you going to talk to me about
No,
veganism?
no, no. I'm tying it.
Okay.
I'm tying it back into the thing. So in the same way, like fetuses are, in Latin, it means a little one, or a little human. And so the fact that we are taking away their life too, and oh, we're taking away their like experience that they're gonna have.
So are you
So
vegan
in the
then?
same way, no, I mean I think it's more.
Okay.
I think
So then
everyone has different morals.
what gives you the right to take the life of an animal that is already here, walking independently on this earth and having experiences? What gives you the right to take away their experiences? What gives you that?
And I think that just goes back to a like moral subjectives, because every morals are definitely subjective. Like you see eating meat as wrong, and I see it as it's not morally wrong. But
Okay.
that and
Okay,
I think
so as
that's
far
where.
as I don't disagree with you that moralities are subjective. I totally agree. In fact, but I would ask you then in your. Oh, sorry, I heard an echo. If I would ask you in your moral framework, so this is I'm asking your opinion in your moral framework, not my moral framework, not anybody else's. Do you consider it immoral for me to use somebody who cannot consent to their treatment for whatever I want?
I mean, it depends on who you're talking about, though.
Someone that's having a subjective experience. We could stick with human if that makes you more comfortable. Let's say there's a human that they can't reciprocate morals or logic, but I want to exploit them. Why can't I?
Well, that's what I'm saying is because it's a human. That's where I think morals are always going to be, like between a vegan and someone who's not vegan. I
So
think
what's the
that
moral difference? What
well,
makes
for a
that
moral,
human more important than the animal?
well, because I see humans differently than I see animals, and I think that's where I'm saying that vegans and non-vegans are always going to be like morally disagreeing, because
Okay,
it's
it
just
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter necessarily that you consider humans superior to animals, but it still doesn't give a justification for you to rob them of their experiences. Because, like I said, there are humans that are maybe not up to par either, but we protect them.
well, that's because they're a human race, and the human race is
But
different from the
why?
animal
Why does that matter? Why does that matter?
because
What
we're
does it mean to be human?
well, first of all, God gave us dominion over animals and stuff like that, and And
I think you're misunderstanding your own text. There's a documentary that just dropped called Christspiracy, and they actually go into those specific words. Dominion, for example, they actually find the translation is steward, and they show you the resources on it. You should check out Christspiracy. It's very interesting. I understand, though, that you feel like you have dominion. We have dominion over children. Doesn't mean that I can exploit a child. It's still immoral.
No, I get what you're saying, but also in the same text as we know as the Bible, God commands the Israelites to eat lamb. So
He doesn't command them. I can be vegan and be Christian. I can be vegan and I can be Christian.
Can I ask you a question?
There's no such thing as a vegan Christian?
I mean, I didn't say that. I'm saying that.
That's what I'm asking you. Can I be vegan and Christian?
Yes, you can be vegan and Christian.
So then God did not command you to eat lamb.
He did command. Okay, hear me. Okay. So have you heard the story?
So I can't be vegan and Christian? I have to eat lamb?
No, let me make my point, right? Let me make my point. So if it wasn't right for us to eat meat, God wouldn't have commanded us that He commanded them in that specific time because of the Passover.
That specific time.
Yes, that specific time.
Okay. So, like I said, you need to watch Christspiracy. You should watch Christspiracy. But may I take you back to the beginning, right? Because usually when you read a book, you start in the beginning. Was Garden of Eden not the most perfect creation that God made?
Yes, it was. It was, everything was
Were they not
perfect.
vegan in the Garden of Eden?
He said that they could have dominion over the animals and,
But he didn't say to use them. We have Frankenstein cows, so they didn't overproduce milk back then. There was no death. So if that was the perfect creation of God, should you not be living as closely to God's original plan as possible instead of making the excuse that I have sin, so I have excuse?
No, that's not. There's multiple instances in the Bible where
the only time that you're allowed to consume animals is after the fall.
Okay,
because of sin.
Okay, so what you're saying is that because of that we shouldn't eat meat.
I'm saying you shouldn't use animals at all because God made them supposedly feel pain and want to live.
But He also commanded the consumption of them in the Exodus.
What?
He commanded the consumption of a lamb in the Passover. So
okay, my point is He's not commanding you right now. He's not commanding you right now. Animals feel pain and suffer. You can thrive on a plant-based diet. You can be Christian and vegan. There's no moral justification to be using these animals anymore. We're not living in a time of desperation. We live in a time of abundance, most of us. So I'm just saying, if you have option, you should be choosing to not take someone's life over taste pleasure just because sin is in the world and you're allowed to sin a little bit or cause harm because of that sin. You should check out Christspiracy, though. I know I'm a broken record at this point. I don't know if you're talking or not. I can't hear you if you are. But you should check out Christspiracy because they actually go in depth about specifically Jesus and how he probably lived his life based off of the evidence available. And they show you their sources. Are you there, Blake? I'm not hearing you at all. Oh, no. For a second, I saw the microphone with a line through it, and then it went away, and I still don't hear you. Yeah, I'm very sorry. If you want to come back up, you're welcome to.